Do not disturb. Getting a cold, please excuse the sniffles. So I'm not really where to start with this, because it was a thing that wasn't a thing, but apparently it was a thing, and it was definitely a thing. So I've not gone out much for a little while, and I'm changing. I've made my mind up to change, and someone said to me it was Daryl's birthday. Happy birthday to Daryl, tentacles, takes photos, robots. Everyone knows who he is. Emily got approached saying, do we want to go to a ghost hunting evening at a museum? And she seemed quite up for it, and I said, yeah, go on then, why not? She sort of looked at me and she was like, really? Because she kind of has got a very good grasp of who I really am. And I said, no, definitely, we'll do it, it'll be fun. It's different, isn't it? It's just like, because I didn't believe in any of it. It was all going to be bollocks. I was just going to go and get to wander around a hotel in the... a museum in the dark. It looks like a hotel. That's why I call it a hotel. It looks like, when you look at it, it looks like a hotel. A very posh, grandiose, gothic, scary hotel. But it was just going to be a good opportunity to go and have a look around, hang out for the evening, say happy birthday, and do something that I don't normally do. Yes? Okay, cool. So I'm not expecting anything, except maybe just a laugh. And we drive up to Portsmouth, everything's cool. In some obscure weird twist of fate which would normally have set me off being a weirdo, but when we arrived we didn't know if we were in the right place. And then the car turned up behind us and sort of stopped as well, and I'm looking at the car going, that's either trouble or this person's just as lost as we are. And it turns out they were, because it was Daryl in that car, and they pulled up and just went beep 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 on the thingy, we're here for the ghosty stuff. And we both went into a different car park, so we gelled right from the very moment that we got out of our cars together, which really, really helps in these situations. It's really good. So we went in, we met everyone, we were all sat down as three groups, three very specific groups, A, B, C, each with its own sort of team pack of people that do a thing for ghosties. And we had essentially what was a briefing of what was going to happen. We all had backpacks and coats and cameras and stuff, and none of that was really sort of, not that they said we couldn't do it, but that wasn't their thing. They didn't want us to take loads of photos, they wanted us to be there for the experience of what's going on. Yes, I know it's a ghosty thing, of course they don't want cameras, they don't want people debunking it. It wasn't like that at all. I promise you, I can't get that across enough. So the first thing we do is all walk into, as a group, like this reception hall behind the reception hall. They got a tiny little room with just like school tables and chairs and that sort of thing, set out for doing business meetings or receptions or the cadets or what, you get what I'm saying. So we went from that room into quite a grandiose room, quite Spartan, but it's got quite sparse, and it's pictures, big, like 6 foot by 4 foot oil paintings of sea captains and stuff like that. There's a couple of cabinets full of medals and awards and that sort of thing. It's what you expect it to be. It's like a meeting hall, the place that you go to be rah. Everyone was chatting and everyone said, and then it just instantly got real, because they said, right, can everyone make a great big circle in this place? And they put 2 little doodads in the middle, and they said, everybody hold hands, and everyone's looking at each other going, well, eh? And the guy, I put my left hand out, right hand's Emily, put my left hand out, and it's just some geezer who automatically pulled his top down over his hand like that, like, so he didn't actually have to touch skin, and it was like, you're not embracing this, are you, sunshine? So we all held hands, and it was a little bit awkward, and they stood there and they did gumph. They did ghosty gumph, okay, where they if there are any spirits in here, and they explained to us that they did this spell. It's not a spell, but they did this bubble of awareness that if at any point it gets scary, that we can talk to one of them, because you're not allowed to break the circle. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's that sort of thing. And it was cool, and then we stood there, everyone in the circle, please be quiet. We did a minute's silence, because it was, we fought in the war day, you know, for poppies and that. I don't know what it's called. I'm a bad Englishman. Supported by going, shut your face. We're all stood in a circle, and it's kind of silent, and a couple of people there. We were the only group that had never done it before. There were 2 other groups and they've both done it before, so they were, if they were into it, if not they were good at it, they were into it, they knew what was happening. So we're all, and then all of a sudden someone goes like, is there a shadow in that corner? And everyone starts going, oh, it's getting cold over here, and they start pointing lasers at the floor to see if the floor's getting any colder. It's 27.2, but that's 27.4, like that. And I'm stood there, if I'm honest, going, this is silly. Why? This is silly. This is just silly. You're all just pissing about, and this is just silly. But some of the people really thought that there was the sense of a figure over in behind me on my left shoulder in that corner, and lots of people felt a gust of wind or a draft or something like that. So to make sure it wasn't one person stood in a draft, we all had to walk 5 steps to our right and move the circle round. Blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah. Yeah, so it's that kind of thing. And then all the people that were stood in the same spot were doing stuff, but then the people that had moved round were also still feeling the effects. I'm still stood there just like, this is a bit stupid, and we're all feeling a bit awkward, and I'm holding hands with a guy that I've never met before. But people really thought that they, you know, sometimes you can tell. They're not actors. These aren't people that have turned up for a reason. This is literally just Bob off the street, Mary off the street, who's just come in to have a good time doing a bit of ghost hunting. People that are genuinely apprehensive, saying, I can see there's someone in the back corner, there's something over there, I saw a flash of light, I heard something, there's footsteps upstairs, that sort of thing, yeah? No one else in the one other person in the building, which is the caretaker, who wasn't going to go round and do security guard, wasn't going to go and do all the stuff that he needed to do until he needed to do it, which was later on in the evening. So this finishes, and then we get split up into our groups, we get taken all together. I'll be honest, I put the camera away. It didn't feel like one of those days when it was a let's play with the camera kind of day. It just wasn't on the agenda. So we went to, it's the middle floor, it's called the jungle room. It's the middle floor, so you go to the middle floor and there's a whole load of glass cabinets with medals from soldiers, there's loads of weapons on display, it's a music room, it's for the band. So they've got 4 statues at one end, all with brass instruments from World War II-ish, that sort of stuff. Okay, it wasn't about that, it's about the ghosts. We get split up, so some people over there, some people over here, but we get moved around the room, we get showed what everything else is, and then we get asked if there's anything that we want to do, is there anything, because we didn't really know, so we were hoping that they would really show us the ropes of what was going on. So while we were in there, we had to go around, we had to listen to some stuff, we couldn't hear anything, there wasn't really anything untoward going on until they started getting out toys, some implements, some instruments, okay, and they got out some crystals on a chain with a crystal hanging and a silver doodad, which was a crystal. They were all earthed, whatever that means. They had dowsing rods, yes, so like if you're going looking for water and you turn water here and they'll go whoop like that. They had dowsing rods that were tuned to the same frequency as ghosts, apparently, or spirits. Spirits, for the rest of the evening, they're spirits and not ghosts, because apparently ghosts are something that you can't interact with, spirits are something that want to talk to you. So everyone else is doing stuff. I'm sweating buckets, it's super hot, I'm really uncomfortable and it's a bit weird. And I'm walking around and I'm not hearing anything, and when people are hearing stuff, the only thing my brain is hearing is, you stupid arsehole, you're just getting in the spirit of things and you're just jumping at your own shadow. Until someone said that there was some stuff going on. And I just thought, because I am now new Dave, and there's no point in just watching everyone else have fun, I just went, right, come on, I'm going to have a play with some shizzle. So I grabbed crystal and I sat down and I wrapped it around my fingers and I was like, right, I'm not going to f about, because if nothing happens, I'm just going to sit there and nothing happens, okay? Nothing, I'm just going to do it. But the lady sat there, so I sit my ass down underneath this big ornate picture of a man in this room where the lights aren't on. There's very, very little. There's enough light that you can see each other, you can tell who the person is that you're talking to, but you can't see the expression on their face. It's dark, but it's not super dark. Okay, I knew, for example, that it was a blue crystal because I could see the reflection off the lights in the cabinets and that sort of thing, but it was dark. So I'm sitting here and the lady is sat 10 foot on the left of me in the other chair in the room, okay, and she starts asking spirits questions. Are there any spirits in the room? If there are any spirits in the room, can you let us know that you are here? And I'm sat there holding a thing and nothing's happening. She says, if there's any spirits in the room and you'd like to talk to us, please can you start making yourself known? And this thing just starts going like that. And I'm like, you know, maybe I've looked around, maybe I've done that accidentally and it's just swingy, swingy, swingy. Okay? I'm sceptical, I'm still sceptical. I'm sceptical of this right now. Let me just get this clear. If you were to say to me, Dave, do you now believe in ghosts? I don't believe in any of this stuff. I find it completely, unbelievably illogical. It just can't exist. But it all happened like I'm telling you. She starts asking more questions. And she says to me, well, let me do it. If you're the one holding the crystal, he's obviously talking through you. So I start asking questions. Were you alive in the war? Were you a... She prompted me a lot of the questions, but the more questions... You know me, I talk. Anyone who watches my tube regularly knows that I waffle. I just started asking questions, just random questions. You know, were you in the war? Were you old? Were you young? Did you have a family? Stuff like that, and it starts swinging more and more and more. And the annoying thing is I can't ask what the question was, but I did actually ask, do you live here? And it went from doing a little bit and it just went woof and really had a little bit of a swing on. And I remember thinking to myself, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I did not do that. But there's no... It didn't compute. The one thing didn't go with the other. I was just a man where something odd happened and I went, look at that, that's a bit weird. Because it's 8:30 in the evening and nothing scary's happening yet. So, after divining rods have been done... Something I found out later on, which I didn't know earlier, is that while we were talking to the thing with the divining rods, when they managed to find out the name of the person by looking at a list, and he said yes when they read his name, and then afterwards the divining rods went off and pointed exactly where his medals were in the room. But there was no way of knowing because the person that was holding the divining rods was part of the thing. They didn't know where all the names were. There's no way they could have known because we were a brand new group. We'd never been there before. Yet it dragged. If I'd have known that at the time, might have been a bit more freaked out. But so we've done all of this stuff. Okay, we put the crystals away. It's starting to feel a little bit spooky. I'm starting to have a little bit of fun. It's good fun. I quite love enjoying myself. I'm boiling to death. I'm just wishing it was over so I could go and take my coat off, really, if I'm honest, because I was really cooking. So then we went into the other half of that floor, the middle floor, should we call it, the jungle room. And the jungle room is full of jungle warfare, jungle militia, some quite crappy mannequins, if I'm honest, but dressed up in actual military clothing with guns and stuff like that. Just in a fake jungle, just to give you an idea of what it's going to be like. There's a guy in a bamboo box that had been captured and just had pants on, super skinny. It was it was horrible. It was just a war. Yes, war. So we all sat down and they got out this little talkie box and a recorder. Sound recorder. It's a mobile phone with a sound recorder on it. It's a sound recorder, okay? Put the sound recorder next to the talkie box. Talkie box is a white noise recorder. It's got a microphone on it, but it scans constantly white noise. Rotates through the frequencies, but it does white noise. And we start talking to the spirits in the room. Bald guy starts talking to the spirits in the room. Mark, I think his name was. And it would just every now and again cut through. It was pretty weird. It was pretty weird. But I sort of ran with it because I bounced it off as coincidence because we did it later on and there was an awful lot of radio static in there. And I do audio quite a lot. I play with audio for fun. I really like audio. And to my mind, it just sounded like radio. But we did pick out specific words, specific sentences. okay, we picked stuff out. It wasn't easy to pick stuff out because upstairs the group above us were making loads of noise, which was doing, especially the lady who was running it, doing her head in big time, because it was difficult for us to hear what we wanted to hear, while upstairs were clapping on the floor with bloody boots. Anyway, we do all of this. It's a little bit spooky. I'm really enjoying it. I'm feeling quite relaxed. Everything's good. It's easy. I like all the people that are there. They made it very easy for us. It was magic. But the thing came to an end, and then we all went to the meeting room where all of our stuff was, and we all dumped a load more stuff off because we suddenly realised where we were and what we were doing and that we were locked in. I had a cup of tea and I had a piece of chocolate, which was beautiful because I'm totally not eating rubbish at the moment. Right in front of Emily, who was really pissed off because she's not eating rubbish at the moment either, but I was like, oh, I want the chocolate now, sorry. Round 2. So we were all rotating stuff, so we did the middle floor, so then we did the top floor, which was the attic. So we went upstairs to the attic, and we all sat in this room, and one of the guys downstairs said, we've been hearing loads of stuff going on, you need to go to the far end room. So we went to the far end room. Turns out we think it was the wrong far end room because we stood there and there was next to nothing. So we're all going into one of the other rooms, and we sat down, and there was next to nothing. And they're talking to this ghosty thing, and there's next to nothing. And then we all went to the other end, and there was next to nothing. And I got bored by the end of it, if I'm honest, because nothing happened. Which was probably the best and worst thing that could have happened at the time, because then it's taken me from here, and I'm on a 7 out of 10. This is amazing. 10 out of 10's up here. 7 out of 10, I'm having a really good time. I'm really glad I'm here. And it's sliding down to a 4, and I'm thinking, if this is all we can expect from this, this is getting a bit tired. Is there any Jack Daniels around? So, the middle bit happens, we go downstairs, we all have another cup of tea, we all have a bit of a laugh and joke about what's going on. Some of the other people seem a bit more animated about what's going on, and you're not allowed to talk to each other about what happened in the communal area because we don't want to get in the way of what the other people are hearing. There doesn't want to be any crossing of information. And then we go on to the third bit. Okay, so, no. The talkie box thing. I got off track a bit. The talkie box thing, so we're talking about the talkie box thing, and through the talkie box thing, we end up talking to a spirit called Aaron, who was... what was it? We decided on the talkie box thing that he was sort of early 20s, was in the war. It gave a couple of crosses and yeses and nos, but it was Darren or Aaron or something like that. We called him Aaron for the rest of the evening. And that was all we thought of it. Nothing. We met a guy called Aaron who was dead, who was in World War II. It's all a big shame, but we met a spirit. Spooky, innit? So we go downstairs, we all get to talk about it. I don't talk about Aaron at all. We don't talk about it as a phenomenon at all. Then we go for the third thing, where we all go down to the cellar. And it smells of wet dog. It smells underground. It didn't bother me in the least, if I'm honest. It just smelled like the downstairs of a pub. It wasn't that bad. But it was very small, and it was very warm. Which is weird, because you'd think that because of the way the heating in the system in the house works, that downstairs would be, that the heat would rise, yes? So upstairs is cold as cold can be, middle floor is nice, in the basement is warmy warm. And they say, what do you want to do? We'd all heard them speaking, and they didn't want to do the job for us anymore, because as ghost hunters, we are supposed to take the lead. We're supposed to talk and push things along. At which point I decide that, come on Dave, we all know that you're a talker, everybody here knows that you're a talker, just grab 'em, do something, come on, be the man. Be the man! So I thought that if it comes to it, I'm going to be the one that needs to say some stuff, because I am that man, I'm that guy. It's okay, it's all good. So they ask us, what do you want to do? And there was, do you want to get the talkie box out? I haven't got a lot of faith in the talkie box. I don't think you could ever have a very nice conversation with the talkie box thing. I think it's just... something that you interpret. It's all something that you interpret. I'm sure it's something that you take in, stir up in your own brain and regurgitate out as nonsense, but just be patient, just listen. We're all choosing stuff and people are going, oh, well, I might do this and I might do that, I might do that. And I, with my big stupid loud voice, just sat there and went, seance. Yeah, let's do the seance. Because we haven't done one of those yet. And we did one right at the beginning, but it didn't feel like anything. It just didn't feel like anything. So we all stood there and we did a seance. But what I didn't realise with a seance is this is a building that is underground. Very, very underground. And when they turned the lights off, it was black. We've all got torches in our pockets. If we want the light on at any moment, technically you're not allowed to do it because we had to hold hands, and you're not allowed to let go of the ring. You're not allowed to stop holding hands with all the people. But it was dark, pitch black. The kind of black where you have to wait a good 10 minutes before you start seeing where the edges of the room are and stuff like that. It was really dark. And we start talking. The lady who was leading it started asking Spirit, is there anybody here? Spirit, is there anybody here? Asking questions, that sort of stuff. And there's nothing. And then as we're going, one of the others said, oh, I just felt a blow of wind on my hand. And then as they was talking, others were saying, oh, I just felt a blow of wind on my face and that sort of thing. But I felt a blow of wind on my hand, and I felt a blow of wind on the back of my neck, and there was no draft down there. This is a sealed underground place. We're in a room with bricks on all corners. There's a door over there which we opened, and it's a fake wall that goes across. There's nothing going on, okay? And as we start talking, this blow on the back of my neck happens more and more and more until I spoke up and I said, look, whoever's doing that on the back of my neck, stop it, this isn't funny. And they're all like, no, go on. And she's asking questions, and the blow is a yes or a no, and it's moving from left to right, and it's I can feel it now, it's horrible. And in the end she said, well, this isn't my thing, this is your thing, come on. And we all asked questions, but I was the only one who was getting a response. And we stood there for 25 minutes while I talked to a ghost. Or a spirit. And I asked it loads of questions, and we found out, and the young lady said that I had to ask the spirit if we were to read out the letters of the alphabet, would it give us a sign when we got to the right letter so we know who that we were speaking to? And I went A, and instantly the blow went onto the back of my neck. And I mean, it's literally someone blowing on the back of your ear kind of thing. Really cold. And it was A, straight away, and everyone went, is that Aaron? And then I had a chat with the guy that I'd spoken to upstairs for 20 minutes, holding hands with 6 other people. And I was really shaken by it. I was really shaken by it because Emily's on my left, right? And she kind of knows me well enough that she knows that I'm being serious. But this thing would blow on my neck and I would just shrivel and crease up like that. Of course, Em's like used to me holding my hand, but the guy on the right of me, he's not used to me doing this sort of stuff. And all of a sudden, the guy on the right of me, while obviously you would think that this would be a brilliant opportunity for me to be a real dick about it and just drag everyone along, says out loud, oh my god, you're squeezing my hand, oh my god, you're shaking. And it really me up, it really upset me. It wasn't pretend, it wasn't pretend, it wasn't me dicking about, it was not pretend, I promise you faithfully. It was really weird. It turns out this Aaron was a teenager, had family ties with someone within the circle. I don't know whether he died on the site there, it was ambivalent. It was us trying to get information out of a spirit. But I tell you what, that spirit was bloody took a shine to me, and he was breathing down my neck and didn't like it. Did like it. Didn't like it at the time. But I relaxed after a little while and they were prompting me with questions, and it was messed up. It was scary and it was messed up. I can't help but feel I've undersold it somehow, but it was strange. It really had a profound effect upon me. But it was time to finish. So we finished, we stopped, we turned the lights on. It was weird, but it was kind of nice being the centre of attention at the same time, you know, because when something works, it works, and I was proud of myself that I led it, I did the talking. Maybe I just talked myself into it or out of it, or maybe I'm crazy, or maybe there's ghosts. So we went and did a second bit with the time that was left. This is getting on for 1:15, 1:30 in the morning. So we went and did the last thing. So we went into a different room, empty room, medals at that end, pictures up on the walls, big windows, just one table. They've obviously set this up, but just one table. So we all sit around the table, 3 on one side, 3 on the other. They get a glass, they put a marble underneath the glass, and they all say put your feet, they turn the glass upside down, they put your finger on the glass. So obviously it slides quite easily, we could push it around like that, but what they said is no one push the glass, just put your finger on the glass, but turn your finger over like that, so your fingernail is on the ring of the glass, because you can't guide where it's going to go with your fingernail, because you just can't. Not when there's 6 of you, because it's 6-way random. It's 6 times random. You can't organise that. Yes? Okay, cool. So we start. Is there any spirits in the room? Is there any spirit? Blah, 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 blah. We do the thing over again. Yes? And the glass starts moving. And the breath on the back of my neck comes back. And the spirit from downstairs followed me upstairs, and we had a little conversation with him. I couldn't really see what was inside the glass. I was very aware of it slowly moving around like that, and if we asked a question and it was a positive question, if it was a question that had been received kindly, the glass would move a little bit quicker. And then when we started getting really on the nail, we asked I can't remember what the question was, it was really annoying me, but I asked a question, oh, it was because we were laughing, we were all laughing, and other people had said that the ghosts don't like being laughed at, so they just instantly went, and they were gone, psh, like spirits, gone. But we were laughing, and it sort of slowed down a little bit, and they prompted me to ask the question. Spirit, I know we're all laughing at you, with you. Are you happy to be here? Because we're all enjoying ourselves and we're glad for your company. Are you happy to be here? And the glass just went whoop, moved right to one side, and the marble inside went ding and hit the side of the glass, and everyone else was just like instantly game over. At that point we were all just messed up, and I think some of the people that were there were just like, this is all a bit mad, isn't it? And I was so upset. I didn't talk, I barely said a word all the way home. When we were doing the debriefing at the end, it really annoyed me, if I'm honest, because this was a really, really big thing. It felt like a really big thing. It literally felt like the Ghostbusters should have been behind me with proton packs on, because it just felt like a huge, great big thing. And when it was the turn for our team leader to speak about the last bit of the night, given that we've gone from a 10 to a 4, it's gone up to 978, and I'm shitting myself. And she just went, yeah, we'd had some contact. People said, you know. And I was just like, what? We've just had literal scary proof, man, that something happened. She's like, yeah, we had a little bit of contact. Oh! My hands were shaking. Everyone else saw my hands shaking. I had a cup of tea in my hand, just like I'm not eating chocolate for anything at the moment, except for when I did eat chocolate just to go to Emily. I'm eating chocolate. She brought me 2 Chocky Bickies because I was just a mess. And I got home exhausted. And the guy with the bald head that was really into it, he took me to one side afterwards and he said, look, whether you believe in what has happened or not, he said, you have just had quite an experience. And he said, I believe in what's going on whether you do or don't, but he said if you wake up tomorrow morning really feeling shit, he said many people do. It's very, very draining if you have an encounter with a spirit. I did. I woke up this morning aching all over. Like, you know when you sleep a bit funny and you ache all over? Back hurt. You know when you wake up in the morning and you're like, you have to make a physical effort to move your legs because your legs are a bit cramped up and you're like, oh, is this going to be crap? Move your limbs. And I did that this morning. I really did it. They called it a psychic hangover or something like that, which Emily took the piss out of me for all morning. It was horrible. I can't get that feeling of the breath off the back of my neck. I can't do it, but it was so genuine. It really happened. It really happened. It was real. I put my hood up. I don't like it. I met a nice spirit in a place full of people, in a place where lots of people have died, in a place full of the stuff where spirits would be, because it was full of memorabilia of people who died in the war and died for a noble cause and all that sort of stuff. I went ghost hunting and had a conversation with a nice spirit who just, to be honest with you, it just feels like he took a fancy to me and followed me around the building for 2.5 hours. I don't think I'm ever going to be quite the same again. It was really, really shockingly shocking. My name is smsno number 1. And I met a ghost.